Hi, everybody. It is episode 558 of PodQuest.
Hey.
It is Wednesday, April 23rd, 2025. I am Chris. With me is Walnut.
Yeah, I'm here.
Drew is not feeling well, so he's taken a week off. I think he may have gone back to sleep.
Probably.
Yeah.
He's. You hear that snoring in the background? That's actually true. He is here. He's just not
Sleeping on your floor.
Yeah. Well, no, like he's in the call. He's asleep right now in his office.
I see. I like the idea that he's actually just sleeping on your floor.
I don't.
He's just curled up behind you.
I don't like that idea. I don't like that idea. That's kind of weird. That means he's just sleeping in the middle of my living room.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't like that.
Could be worse.
He could be sleeping in my bed. You're right.
That's literally what I was going to say. So before we get started, I wanted to circle back on something we talked about last week. Super Mario World.
Yeah.
So we were talking about like you're doing your playthrough of it. And I watched pretty much the whole thing. Like I skipped a couple of times where you were like retrying an area, but like I saw the majority of it. Something I noticed while watching that never really dawned on me before. Mario, a little bit of a colonizer.
Terraformer more so than colonizer, but yeah.
Hear me out. This motherfucker goes trampling into, a new land, killing, enslaving, changing things. He literally ruined an entire biosphere by making that obviously freshwater lake on Donut Plains into like an open into the most likely saltwater ocean. But like he literally enslaves a bunch of dinosaurs. He kidnaps their children, just sacrifices them to no end, and just runs rampant murdering things. Like you have to figure, like not everything in that world is from Bowser.
No, like not everything in that world is from Bowser, but in it to counter argue, like he has not sacrificed. My playthrough, I have not sacrificed Yoshi, purposefully sacrificed Yoshi. Might have accidentally like jumped off Yoshi at one point here or there and he ran off the ledge. Or I might have gotten hurt and he ran off the ledge. But I have never actually sacrificed Yoshi. I don't jump and then jump off Yoshi to get that extra jump or anything like that. But like he is trying to rid the land of Bowser. Like whose
only crime at this point is kidnapping a person from a different land.
No, false. He captured all of the Yoshis in their eggs. That's why each Yoshi is in each castle.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. You know what? I actually forgot about that part of the story.
Yeah, false. So he is not a colonizer. He's just a shitty terraformer.
He's
terraforming the world to his liking.
Mario's still doing some shitty stuff.
True. Like terraforming and it does raise a question of what is villain based on just a normal animal that's in that land, and what is villain based on Bowser being there. But like
the Koopas and like the Goombas, sure, like those are definitely from Bowser. But there are other things that were not in other games that, like, I'm sorry, those are probably native to this part of like their world.
Right. But also, who built the towers? Who built the castles?
Bowser. They could have been there already. You don't know that Bowser did that. We
don't know that, but come on. The one castle is literally fucking Bowser's castle. He built that one.
That is underground, though. And then when it's not underground, it is literally in the middle of the ocean.
But the rest of the towers, who built those?
Well, like there's 4 of them that are just ruled by Triceratops.
Are there? There's 4 in the Triceratops area?
No. So there are the castles, which each have like one of the Koopalings in it.
Yeah.
And then there are, I want to say there's 4 or 5 fortresses, which you have not come across yet. That that Reznor is the villain, is like the enemy in that one. It's 3 Triceratops on like the spinny wheel, and you have to bop underneath of them to take them out before the platform under you completely fades away.
Okay.
I think in order to get the very first fortress is at the top of the Vanilla Dome that you're in now. You have to go the left-hand route from the first level instead of the direct right that you went in.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's another fortress in So that's the first one. There's one in Forest of Illusion. There's one on that Triceratops one, like Cookie Island or whatever it's called. The last one, the one that you got stuck on before. And there's one in Bowser's Zone. All of them are mostly optional. Like the game gives alternate routes that don't require you to go through those. I think the closest one to being required is probably that last world before the Bowser Zone. But like the one in the Bowser Zone, it's actually a if else. Like you can either go the one route and go through the last like castle proper, or you can go the other route and go through the fortress. And both of them actually lead you to two different entrances of the castle. The final castle, I should say, Bowser's castle. I also maybe beat Mario World last Wednesday, so
yep,
it's a little fresher in my mind. I mean, I also know all the secrets and exactly how to finish the levels. And even with those, like it took me multiple tries to get through the Forest of Illusion because I finished the levels the wrong way the first time. And that's the one where, like, if you don't finish it right, it, like, just makes a big circle.
Yeah.
And I frankly just got lucky on that last island, because there's the one level on the last island where whether or not you get to move forward is dependent on how quickly you beat the level and how many coins you collect. And I just happened to beat it in a way that got me the shortest route to Bowser. So I ended up getting to skip, like, 4 levels without, like, having to take, like, an actual shortcut. But I think that island is going to be the hardest one for you. I think once you get to Bowser, I think you're going to get through Bowser's Zone a lot quicker than you might expect.
Yeah, probably. They make like I've been more than halfway through the game before. Like I know the middle of it gets very tough.
Yeah, Forest of Illusion levels aren't hard. They're just annoying because you have to find the secret exits to like actually move forward.
Yeah.
And the last island that's the one that like I personally think is kind of shitty with some of the levels. Like they're the ones that I have the least fun with, especially that one where like you can only proceed if you do it a certain way. Otherwise, you finish the level and it just like sends you in a circle. But like Bowser's Zone is like surprisingly quick. Like a couple of them are a little annoying, but like nothing too bad. There is one last ghost level. It's the sunken ship. That one's a pain in the ass just because you're underwater and dealing with ghosts. But like not the end of the world bad. Just like you're going to be frustrated, but then you're going to get to Bowser and be like, oh, this is actually way easier than it should be.
Yeah.
I think Bowser's world in Mario World is easier than Bowser in Mario 3. I don't know if you ever beat Mario 3.
I think I've gotten pretty far into Mario 3. Might have done Bowser in Mario 3.
Yeah, the Bowser world in Mario 3 I always hated. Like it's not like it's hard, but it's a lot of like those shitty auto scroll levels like the ships are.
Yeah.
And yeah, like the levels in actual like Bowser's like domain here, they're like regular levels. Like they're just mostly underground levels. But yeah, Mario just out there terraforming and doing shitty stuff to the inhabitants of this island.
Yeah.
But anyway,
you should write a video essay about that, and we can put it up on PodQuest.
I could, but I won't. That would be interesting though. But Rich, what is on the agenda?
On the agenda, me and Cobb and friends, we played Fire Tower this weekend, a board game. It's really fun. Cobb started South of Midnight, a game that I really want to play, and I watched the finale to Daredevil. Yeah, it's pretty slow week this week.
Yeah,
basically.
actually, are you going to try and pre-order a Switch tomorrow?
No, I don't have any money to pre-order a Switch.
Well, depending on where you pre-order it, you don't get charged right away.
I know, but no, I'm not going to bother. If anything, like, and I haven't even checked to see if I can qualify to pre-order it through Nintendo to see if maybe I could use my PayPal credit card to just buy it.
Oh.
But I don't know if they allow PayPal credit cards to be used on Nintendo's site. But like apparently to qualify through Nintendo direct through Nintendo to pre-order a Switch, you need to have like 50 hours played on your Switch and like an account, like the family, or not the family account, but like a Switch Online account and something else. And I don't know if I have 50 hours. I might.
On your Switch?
On my Switch last year. In the last year.
Oh, I was going to say like
played.
No, you definitely have 50 hours on your Switch. But
I
like,
definitely have 50 hours, but
you have 50 hours in just Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
You have more than that is what I mean. But yeah, that being in the last year, yeah, that is different. I don't even know that I had 50 hours last year. Probably close though, because it was Tears
Yeah.
of the Kingdom last year.
Yes, it
Yeah,
was.
so I played like 20 or 30 hours of that plus the
I I don't know if it's necessary last year or in the last year.
which I mean
So
that came out like spring of last year, so
yeah.
I think between that and like some of the other like the Echoes of Wisdom and Thousand Year Door, like I'm probably close to 50. I like to think at least. But enough about that. You want to talk about Fire Tower?
Yeah, let's talk about Fire Tower.
So you had played it before. You played it at PAX.
I'd played it at PAX. It's a really fun game, and basic just is like you play as. You don't necessarily play as people in fire towers, but your goal is to protect your fire tower. And so there's up to four fire towers in a forest, and a wildfire breaks out in the middle of the map. And each turn you place a fire token in the direction the wind is going, as well as then you play a card that could either like quelch the fire or add more fire or set up fire breaks and things like that. And yeah, it's a fun competitive game that I really enjoy, and it's not hard to learn. It's not a long game to play either.
No, I think it took us like 45 minutes to an hour. If that
Our recording is about an hour.
Okay, yeah, so that tracks.
Yeah.
And yeah, like that was the first time I had played it, and from seeing it at PAX for the last 8 years or something,
Yeah,
I just assumed,
at least five.
yeah, I just assumed it was more complicated.
No, it's just really good and really well done, and their booth is always like very like flashy, which is what pulls people to it.
Yeah, it's always flashy. It's always very like busy. Like the tables are always full.
Yeah.
And the game from a distance just it looks like there's more going on to it than just
Mhm.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
you're really just you play one fire token per round and then a card, and that card is going to impact what way the wind blows, whether more fire breaks out, whether you can like you said, like quench or block the fire from your tower.
Mhm.
And you're really just like trying to push the fire towards your opponents to win.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not hard. It's really fun. I like it. I have a bone to pick with your wife though. Because she wasn't playing aggressive, it meant that you guys didn't have to defend yourselves as much and you were able to just focus on me.
Yeah, she really did and honestly, I feel like if she hadn't gotten so many she got all of those firewall or whatever they were called.
Yeah.
Cards. Like I barely got any of them.
Yeah.
And I don't think you had any, right?
I didn't. The only fire blocks I had were the ones that you placed around me with the explosions.
But I mean, you didn't have the cards to do them, right?
No, I mean I might have had one or two at some point, but not really. Like I didn't really get a chance to play them. But it's not that I didn't have the cards. It's I didn't have a chance to play them because literally round 2 or 3, like round 3, my entire fire tower was surrounded. And like anytime we had the chance to move the fire to the opposite direction, like I wouldn't be able to because I'm like, well, I got to deal with this fire to keep it away from me. Because honestly, you kept playing the explosion, which kept fucking me up.
So if I had other cards that would have been useful, I would have. The problem is I kept drawing directional cards, and every direction was south and east.
But you can roll.
Yeah, but I don't want to take a chance of rolling it south or east either.
I mean, you can still. It's like if you. I mean, look, you were playing great. You were playing like it was in my direction. I'm not. To preface this, I'm not mad at anybody.
Oh, I know.
I'm not mad at you for how you played, but like I said, it's like it was a little bit more of like the bone. Like when you play a game and somebody is not. When you play a game that is aggressive and somebody is not being aggressive, it then means that the other players can focus in on other people. Like you and Matt basically focused in on me because no one was going at you two.
Yeah.
And anytime I was able to switch it out, like the one time I did switch it out, literally the very next turn, Matt switched it back over to me. And like, no, I don't know what cards Erica had. I don't know if she had any wind cards where she could have changed the wind. Like she played very strong. She did everything she could to defend her fire tower by placing all those breaks. She was getting lucky with all those breaks. Like, I mean, honestly, the thing that really fucked me was your explosions.
Yeah.
Because those explosions, and for anyone who's never played this game, an explosion card is a card that you can play where it's centered around like a fire token. And that fire token gets removed and a fire break gets placed, and then fire gets placed all around that in every spot touching that point. The best card to recover from like from flames, in my opinion, is I can't even remember what it's called, but it's like an airdrop where it's everything except one central point. Can be
Oh yeah. It's like
can
a
be
big square
can
except
be
for the
yeah,
one.
it's a big square except the center. Now you did 3 explosions on me, and all 3 explosions were placed one space away from each of them, to where if I had used that card to get rid of the fire, it wasn't getting rid of much because I couldn't use those center points that you had used.
Right.
Honestly, what would have been better for me, but I wouldn't have had enough turns to do it, would have been to get rid of the fire break, place a flame there, and then boom, hit that all around. But I never had an option, and there were a couple of times like where it came to Erica's turn, and like instead of placing a fire token right next to your base, she placed it off out in the middle of nowhere. I'm like, but you could get him, and then he wouldn't be focusing on me. He'd have to defend himself.
Yeah,
Get him.
she was very much playing like defensive, and like she was keeping all the fire away from her. She was not intentionally trying to draw anyone's attention. And because she kept getting those the fire break cards, she was able to like build this little wall that actually made it really hard to get like a fire in there.
There were definitely ways to get fires in there. And to be like, the fire break works weird because it's a fire can't be in that position. But like, and I don't really know, I don't really recall how it fully works. And maybe there's a way to take them away. There's the reforest, deforest cards that can take them away. But I feel like there might have been like, and maybe we just didn't fully remember it. Maybe we didn't fully read it, but I feel like maybe there's a way to like get rid of that when, like, if you were to place a fire here, you then get rid of that, but the fire doesn't go. But like, I know there's a couple of cards where it's like you put a line of fire, but if you put a line of 3, and can't you put a line, like if you're putting a line of 3, does it stop right at that fire break? Or if that fire break is in the middle, does it keep going to the next one? I'm not too sure, but like there were ways around the fire break, and it was your explosion cards that you kept playing on me. It was playing that and getting that diagonal.
Yeah, it's like getting a fire next to one of the fire breaks and then playing an explosion, which I think is what we ended up doing to get around.
Yeah, it's
around the fire breaks.
Basically what got her out was when a player gets out in this game, they they basically then play as the fire, and every round they roll the die, and based on the direction of the die, the card tells you what to do. And I had one where it's you roll 3 die and you place a fire in each direction, or in those directions. So one of the directions I rolled was hers, which there was a fire in that corner spot that was able to get through, and then I added that last fire to get into her area. And because my turn was right after hers, there was then 2 rounds with you and Matt, or 2 turns with you and Matt where you guys were able to focus in and take her out.
Yeah.
But like if she had been in any other position, if she had been after me or across from me, she would have been able to take care of that fire, no problem. And that's like the same thing that happened to me. Like if Matt hadn't done what he'd done, then you wouldn't have been able to take me out right away. And that was the hard part of the game. Is like, especially when I was getting focused in on. I couldn't do anything. I had to just be defensive the whole time. It was rough.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what? Like, had you been in either of the other 2 positions, at least for me, you would not have been my target. Like I was playing it totally based on you were the polar opposite position. Like if we were going west or north, it went towards you. So like you were the most like logical one to kind of take out first.
Yeah.
Whereas like frankly for you, like south and east like would make me the most logical one.
Yeah. I mean, and again, it's like it's not my minor resentment isn't actual anger and anything, but it's just more of like, damn, I just got screwed because it just anytime I got the wind away from me, anytime I was able to clear things out, 2 turns in a row where it was 2 turns in a row where it was just right on me, and then bam, explosion on one of them, and it's like, well, I can't fucking get rid of this explosion because I'm not getting any reforest, deforest cards to deal with this shit. So I don't know what to do. I can't do anything now. I can't. There was nothing I could do. Like I didn't even get a chance to use my bucket. And I had one point or another. Like I was like, oh, I had a plan. I was like, I can do this, I can do that. This works, that works, blah blah blah. It's just nope. It was just nothing was really working out for me. It's a fun game though. I really enjoy it. And like I said, it's quick and easy, and it's very pretty. They have so many tokens, so many fire tokens. And the best part of the instructions is, if you run out of fire tokens, just find anything else to use. This game is made. There's no limit. We just don't know how many you're going to need, and we don't want to produce too many. But really, if you reach a certain point, you shouldn't need too many more.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. Like at a certain point, like if you run out of tokens, it means that people are like they're not being strategic, really.
People aren't playing against each other; they're playing to burn the whole forest down, basically.
Yeah,
because like but also that you could even argue at one point or another, like when me and Erica were out, you could have basically taken most of the tokens out from our direction.
Yeah, that's true.
And just reused those because they didn't matter anymore.
Yeah. You know what? You're not wrong. And you know what? I hadn't thought we also weren't in a position where that needed to happen.
I think we were coming close. I think it felt like the bag was pretty light by the end of that.
We may have been, but at least like I never reached in and like couldn't get what I needed.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had a lot of fun with that, and it is one of those like it's a little bit longer, so it's not like a quick game. It's not like Suro or that Uno with the crab game.
Yeah.
But it's like it's like a nice like okay, you want to kill like an hour, and you don't want to have to think too hard.
I think honestly, the next time we play, it'll be no more than a half hour.
Yeah, you know what? Knowing how to play it and everything, it probably will go much faster.
Yeah.
But
plus, like we had to do setup and extra shuffles and things like that because it was the first time opening everything up.
Yeah, it was a good time though. I liked it.
Yeah. It's a great game. It was funny because this is year 8 of PAX, and that game's been going to PAX for at least 5 or 6 years. In that amount of time, this is the first time I was ever able to play it at PAX, and like I was a target in our game because when you win at a convention with that game, they actually give you a champion card, where then you get to have an extra. You basically get to have an extra card at the start of the game. So then every turn, like as people get knocked out, you get more extra cards. But in my opinion, that doesn't do much. Like that's not much of a target because it's one extra card for sure, but you can only play one card per round.
Yeah. I mean, you're not wrong.
It's like
it gives you a little bit more like flexibility in what you are doing.
Yeah. And that's why, like, in the game itself, actually comes with a Champion of the Woods card. So whoever wins gets to use that card the next time they play, which gives them a little bit of an added bonus. I think like extra fire breaks or something like that. And I was like, so Cobb, since you won, I was like, next time we play, you choose one of these. You don't get to use both. You choose one. Because I like, since we've got two, like, it's your choice. Like, do you want the extra card or do you want the fire breaks? What would work better?
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like, you're also now going to have the target on your head because you're the champion. But also, that's not, I don't target the champion. I target whoever the game allows me to target. So it is what it is. It is funny, though, because, like, that game is directional. But all of the fire towers are in quadrants of north-south, like northeast, southeast, and northwest and southwest. So like you'd want to kind of play the game on an angle so that you're positioned next to your fire tower, but then that actually makes the directionality a little bit more annoying to figure out. So you play it in a square and then just have to remember, oh, my fire tower's on the left or on the right or whatever. And I was like, it would be a little bit. I wonder how the game would be if they centered all of the towers, and if that would, like, I wonder if they ever play tested that to see, like,
so if they centered them, it would actually not, like, the board would have to be a little bit different shaped, because like with them being in the corners, you have kind of the furthest from the middle and also the most like points of entry. Versus like if they were on like each of like the actual sides, it would be a little bit more like, okay, well, if the board isn't like a perfect square,
it would be a little too like straightforward, because like they could keep the board the same size and just have fire all around it. Like, it would actually be, instead of entry from 3 points, 2 points, it would be 3 points. It would be like, so if you're on the south, you would have entry from the north, the west, and the east, because it would be in the middle, and you could get fire all around it.
Yeah.
So then, you would the fire tower itself would only have basically 2 life points instead of 3 at the closest point. Whereas when it's angled directionally, like that, like on the southwest, it's 3 points no matter which entry point. So like it does make sense, but
Also, if you think about it, like normally when you see like a compass on a map, it is kind of more of a diamond shape. So maybe you are supposed to like orient the board to be more diamond.
I mean, when I played at PAX, they had it angled in a square. So
Oh no, I mean like I'm sure they do, but I was just throwing out there. Like if you look at like on most maps, the compass is more like diamond shaped.
yeah,
So who knows? Who knows?
yeah,
But yeah, fun game. I liked it. I'll play it again.
yeah, me too. Of course, you'll play it again. You're the champion.
Yeah. Hey, no man, if I just retire now, I never lose those cards.
You'd have a 100% record, but
Exactly.
I mean, look, next time I go to PAX, I'm taking that card back. But who knows if I'll actually be able to play it at PAX next year?
That is true. You definitely got lucky getting a seat for it.
Yeah, it was pure luck because my first meeting on the first day was right when the show opened, and I got that meeting done in 20 minutes, and it was like Fire Tower was at like 2/3 of the way through the convention hall, and so I kind of got lucky at where it was because everyone was already still at the beginning of the convention hall. That I was like, oh, nice, I can actually hang out here and maybe talk to these people and play this game for once. But I don't recall if we had the Firestorm card that was drawn.
Oh yeah, that one really fucked you up. Depending on when it happened, because like
Yeah,
I actually had two of the Firebreak cards in my hand that I was getting ready to use, and it's like, nope, Firestorm, shuffle all your cards back into the deck. I'm like, well, shit.
yeah. I don't. There that might have been in there. We just might not have gotten to it or something. But then also it was there was an added card in the version that I played at PAX that wasn't in your version. So I guess it's like an expansion to it where there's like actual birds that act like kind of like fire breaks. And so if your fire gets to it, it can actually take the fire and bring it somewhere else.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Um,
Which like apparently is based on like a real bird that like during forest fires actually like does that. Like not because they're dicks or anything. It's just they take a stick and they drop it somewhere else and it sets another forest fire or something.
Yeah. I got nothing else though. You?
No, yeah, I've got nothing else on that one.
Yeah, we'll play again, and I will win again. I'm just gonna say it now.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see about that.
What is next? Oh, we are going to talk about South of Midnight. So Rich, you did not get a chance to start this from the sound of it?
No, I'm not starting until after I finish Mario World.
I for some reason I thought you were starting it like regardless. Like I thought it was a different night game for you.
No. It's the goal right now is like yesterday or Monday I played Repo just because I needed to clip farm a bit. But yeah, no, I'm gonna be playing mostly Mario World outside of Sea of Thieves and Monster Hunter Days until I beat it. So
didn't you beat Monster Hunter already?
No, until I beat Mario World. Monster Hunter is Monster Hunter. There's weeklies and stuff I have to do and shit like that. Like on Monster Hunter is a main. Monster Hunter, I did beat it, but Monster Hunter is a mainstay on my channel until I don't want to play it anymore. Which is going to be well after the expansion for sure, depending on how things go. But also at the same time, like right now in Monster Hunter, there's a seasonal event going on. And so I want to jump onto that. So for the next 2 weeks or so, I'm going to be doing the seasonal event. And then maybe next week or the week after, they have the collab event. So I'm going to want to play that to get the collab content. Then the week after that is going to be the new Arc-Tempered Monster. So I'm going to want to have to fight that. So after that's done, then like, all right, maybe I don't need to play it every week. But at the same time, like, it really depends on what the events are and stuff and what I'm feeling. Because at this point right now, look, I can go on a rant about how they really failed with the end game of Monster Hunter Wilds. But I've done it with every stream of mine about this. And how, honestly, how poorly the title update 1 was. just because of the way the game is built, and it's frustrating. Basically, and I know we were trying to get into a different game, but basically, to explain why I hate this, the game is built on real time. So anything you go and run and hunt has a timer, generally about a 50-minute timer for how long it's going to be on the map. So you could, and like, once you load in the game, everything has alternating timers. And it might be like 30-minute timers. I think it's actually 30 minutes or 35.
Okay.
But everything has some sort of time frame between 0 and 35 minutes. When it's 0, it leaves the map and something new should come on. Because the game is all in real time, that means that the only way to like push time forward, if there's nothing on the field that you want to hunt, the only way to push time forward is to rest. Well, in the base game, resting costs you 200 points, which is just stuff you get when running hunts and things like that. It's not a big deal. After Title Update 1, to rest it now costs 300 points, because too many people were resting to get the monsters they wanted to get. So it was killing the longevity of the game, according to Capcom, it seems, because people were sitting there and just resting. And I did that. I had like 1 or 2 streams where I would rest, see if there's anything on the map that I need to hunt for my crowns. Nope. Go back and rest. Or if I was trying to get like one of the alphas and the apexes from one of the other regions, it would pop in, check the alpha or check the apex. Nope. Run back, rest. And it cost me like 30, or I think in total I spent about 15,000 points doing these resets. So now, because the whole game is real time, if you're not resting, things aren't resetting and things aren't changing as often. So you would have to, your best action is to go into the overworld and fight things in your map, and not to do like investigations and things like that. Because if you're not fighting things on your map, then things aren't changing out. I have only seen the 2 monsters they introduced in Title Update 1. The first one was on the mission that they give you that you have to, both of them, the first time I encountered both of them were on the mission that you get to actually encounter them for the first time. After that, it's now been 3 weeks since the first title update at this point. I have not seen the big boss, Zoshia, more than once in 3 weeks.
That seems stupid.
And the other one, Mitsuzune, I have maybe fought 5 times in total, because the world doesn't reset between hunts, which is how Monster Hunter World was, how Rise didn't really have the overworld thing, but like how Monster Hunter World was you would go run a hunt, you'd take care of it, you'd come back, and every map was reset. But you never really did it. Like, you would always just get more investigations and run more investigations. It is really bad how they did this endgame. And with it all being ran on real time, and some of these monsters being considered like event monsters, like big monsters that aren't always going to pop up, if you want to fight it, you need to make sure anytime you see it to save an investigation. Like, at this point, like, I actually somehow got one of the gold smallest crown for Mitsune. So now I'm like, well, I want the largest crown. But it's not spawning. And even if I were to rest, I can't be sure that it's going to spawn every time I rest. So there's no way to actually pull that thing out unless it does pop up in the arena, which if it does, hopefully I see that, and then I can cheese it by unloading and reloading in the arena a million times. But Zoshia, the big boss of the game, I can't even fucking fight because I don't see it. It's literally been like 15 hours since Title Update 1 has come up, and I've seen that thing once outside of the main mission that I got it. I'm like, this is a bad system. It's a bad system for a Monster Hunter game. That doesn't sound good. No, it's frustrating.
Especially when you've beaten all the main content already, so you want that extra content.
Yeah, exactly. I want to get the crown for Mitsune. I want Mitsune's crown, but I'm not encountering it to be able to try to find it. And I want to fight Zoshia a bunch more just because it's a really fun fight, and I just want to have something to fight. But it's not popping up for me to encounter it. It's frustrating.
It does sound it.
But
like, that just seems like a bad. It's logistically, it seems bad for that style of game.
It's a bad system. It's a very bad system because in previous Monster Hunter games before World, there wasn't this whole overworld system. It was just the game would walk you through and introduce all these monsters, and then you would pick from those list of monsters to fight. There weren't like these investigation style hunts or things like that. In World, they introduced like this overworld where you can go out and hunt just monsters freely, as well as gain investigations, which investigations were supposed to increase the reward and have like harder tiers of monsters, and that was your like end game loop, was doing the investigations. And then Rise, the base Rise, the end game loop was doing the hordes, which no one really liked doing those, so no one really did them. And then it was getting. I don't even think there was investigations in Rise. I can't really remember how Rise worked when it came to like hunting monsters over and over. Oh, there were like sort of investigations. And so that would be the loop, is like finding these investigations by just running around on the overworld, and as you track the monster, it'll pop up. Oh, you have enough points, you get an investigation for this monster. And then it's random what the investigation is. It's same as in World. This time it's like, oh no, the investigations, you have to see the monster on your overworld map and then save the investigation. And whatever the investigation is that you saved, like say you happen to save a gold smallest monster, all 3 hunts of that investigation are always going to be gold smallest. So it's like, all right, well that's cool. Now I can help people get their gold smallest. But at the same time, it's like, well, now I don't want to fight it, because what if somebody needs the gold smallest? And you can't title or change the name of each of these hunts, so you don't know what is what. So you can only have a total of 50 investigations saved. And I'm constantly going through like, all right, well, fuck it. I don't need any of these anymore. I'm just deleting them all now. And then the whole end game loop of Monster Hunter Wilds was fighting the same 4 monsters over and over just to get the high ranking parts to make the hardest. The best weapons. And it was a poor end game loop. And then, of course, they were like, oh, we're introducing a monster harder than Tempered in Title Update 1, which Title Update 1 was 2 weeks ago. It was 2 weeks ago. But the hardest monster doesn't come out for a month after the first title update. So that is not thrown into Title Update 1. That is after Title Update 1, because it's an event.
Yeah, that
quest.
is.
It's not an event. It's an event quest too. It's not even like a monster in the title update that they introduce you to. It is straight up, here's an event quest that you have limited time to run to fight this harder monster. And I knew it is what I knew it was going to be. It's arc tempered, so there's the monster, then there's tempered, which tempered just means they're battle tempered. And actually, it's really cool what they did. Like, they're actually scarred up when you go and fight them. And then arc tempered is an harder version of a tempered. They just generally hit harder. They might have a little bit more health, but not too much more. It's usually just they hit a lot harder.
Okay.
And so they're introducing an arc tempered of one of the apexes. And they were like, oh yeah, Title Update 1 introduces a monster harder than tempered. But again, you gotta wait 3 weeks for the arc tempered. 3-4 weeks for the arc tempered thing to drop. So that's not Title Update 1. If it weren't an event quest, and it was just something you can experience in the world, then yeah, that's part of Title Update 1. But it's not, because it's an event quest that only have 2 weeks to run. So that's not even part of Title Update 1. That's just, you tweaked up the damage of this monster and are throwing an event quest. And it's frustrating. Title Update 1 gave me 2 new monsters, but they were trying to be like, oh yeah, we gave you so many new monsters and so much. You gave me a Gathering Hub, which you should have given me at the beginning of the game. And you gave me 2 new monsters. Technically 1 new monster and 1 high rank version of a monster. That's it.
Yeah, that does sound just like super frustrating.
Yeah.
But do you want to talk about South of Midnight now?
Yeah. So yeah, that's why I haven't done South of Midnight yet. It's because Mario World takes precedent over anything new.
All right. So South of Midnight. I have not gotten to play as much as I wanted to, but what I have played, I've really enjoyed. You were right when you mentioned it. I want to say it was last week. It is more of like action RPG, let's call it. Kind of reminiscent of like your like normal like character platformers, like character platformer is not the right word for it, but like Uncharted sort of thing, like where you're climbing over stuff and running. So far, at least, it's pretty linear. Like the game definitely like wants you to go a certain way. But the one thing I didn't realize from the trailer that I want to say from last summer maybe is when that trailer dropped. It looked like it was kind of just like over the top with a lot of stuff. It starts out super grounded, where like you're just a girl in like Louisiana when like a hurricane's coming,
Yeah.
and literally your house gets blown away, and you're just fucking chasing your house with your mom in it down the river. And as you're doing that, just like some weird shit starts happening to you, and you start getting like powers, and the ability to like manifest things to be able to basically you can manifest things to be able to climb over stuff or to like tie up the enemies. And then you also get like force pull and force push, which is cool. So it's definitely taken a bunch of inspiration from like other games of the genre, like your Star Wars games, your Uncharted games, your just character platforming games. But it's like it's doing all of it really nicely. And so far, at least, the story is actually kind of cool. Like, I like the whole idea that there is something about your ancestry that is like that you're unsure of, that you're slowly piecing together as you're playing. Like one of the first places you get into where you actually use powers is like your grandmother's house, who is like rich and lives in a big mansion, and she is your paternal grandmother, so your father's mother. And you get the impression very early that she does not approve of your mother, or like that your father was with her. Your father, you find out, like, pretty sure he's dead. But yeah, like you're finding like old journal entries and stuff like that, and you're kind of following these like spirits. I'm trying to think of another, like other games have done a similar setup where you're kind of like as you go through each like little section, you're like following like a group of like spirits as they're kind of making the same trek. And I can't think of the other games that have done that, but it's one of those things like when you see it, you're like, I've seen this done before. And again, like they're doing it well, which is nice. So far, not a ton of combat, and it's not like one of those games where as you're running, there's just stuff to fight. It's very much you kind of run into an area. The area is sort of like darker and usually overrun with like thorny bushes and stuff like that. And oftentimes you can actually see the barrier, kind of like when, like in a Souls game, when you like go through like the veil, only not nearly as dense. And then like a couple enemies spawn, but it's usually one or two at a time. And once you take through enough of them down, this little orb will appear, and you basically just go over, destroy the orb, and the area that you're in kind of gets cleansed. Kind of like Breath of the Wild when you're clearing the towers. Like you do a thing, and then all of a sudden, like all the vines and stuff like magically disappear.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been cool so far, and I like the game itself is less of that stop motion-y looking style, but like the cutscenes definitely have that kind of look going for it. And even when it's not that style, like I think the game just has like a really cool aesthetic to it.
Yeah, it does. It does. It is. It's got that really cool art style to it, and yeah, the stop motion animation, especially for the cutscenes, is really cool. Like you can see and feel a little bit of the jank in it.
You definitely can. Like it like everything, like when it's in those cutscenes where the things are doing that sort of like stop motion look. It's almost like the frame rate dips, but like it doesn't. It's just it's literally the way they're animated, and it's really cool looking.
Yeah, I'm really interested. I love like the whole idea behind like a lot of the game you're fighting just like deep south mythical creatures and stuff like that. And it's like it's weird to say, but like it's not often that we get like a game based on American folklore.
That is true.
That like it's like refreshing as an idea. Like there's been so many games where it's based upon Chinese, Japanese, European types of folklore and things like that. But it's not often you see something based on American folklore.
Yes, yeah, so much of fantasy really is kind of more of that European style.
Yeah. I love it. I love it so much. I believe there's no actual location for the game. I have the wiki up, and it's just the Deep South.
It feels very much like Louisiana.
I mean, it could be the Deep South. That
it's not like no one has like Cajun accents so far, at least. Mm-hmm. Though to be fair, like I only had like the volume up to listen to the audio for a little while, for the dialogue, I should say. But it has a feel like Louisiana, especially because it's very swampy and stuff. Mm-hmm. And some of the like art and just general look to things also feels like New Orleans, Louisiana, like that sort of culture.
Yeah.
And like I kind of like the idea that it almost seems like maybe this is like going to lean into like voodoo a little bit, which I think, again, like you said, not something you get a lot of in games. It's very often the like European fantasy stuff.
Yeah.
And while the game is taking very common abilities, so far at least, like nothing's groundbreaking, but it all feels good. Like I've done the whole push and pull to like move a cart to be able to like jump up a cliff a million times in a million different games. You know, sometimes you're physically pulling it. Sometimes it's like an ability or a like a grapple rope in like a Batman game. But like they're still doing it like it feels good to do that stuff. The abilities work well. The combat feels relatively good. It's not the best combat because I feel like the enemies don't really react to you super well when you're just attacking them.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes a little bit of like I feel like you're spending more time just like going in for like one quick attack and then dodging before the enemy attacks. Where I feel like if the enemies reacted to your attacks a little bit more, I feel like you'd be able to combo a little bit better and really control the flow of the battle.
Mm-hmm.
It also does a little bit of a weirdness when it comes to locking on. Like it won't lock on in like all the time, and it's a little janky with the lock on. But that's really only a problem if it's like two enemies.
Yeah.
And for the most part, so far, it's been a lot of like one at a time and like maybe two pop up. I haven't had any more than that, so I don't know if it gets like worse if you get too many enemies.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the combat at least doesn't feel bad. Like even for the complaints, like it handles well. As I've been unlocking the abilities and actually using them a little bit more in battle, like the push and the pull and the like, basically, it's almost like webbing them up is the other thing. Like the one ability that lets you like bring astral objects or whatever like into the physical space so that you can like get across a bridge that collapsed. It basically just webs the enemy up for a second. So you can kind of Spider-Man it because you can web them up and then you can do the force pull to pull them into you and then like attack them a whole bunch.
Mm-hmm.
Which again, Spider-Man did it really well. They're not trying to reinvent the wheel. They're just kind of like reusing what other games already did really well, and they're kind of sticking the landing so far.
Yeah.
Even like I said, like so far it's been very linear. Like the game is telling you where it wants you to go. One of the first things it teaches you is to click in the right stick to get the like trail on like which direction to go. And the few times I've kind of like wandered off, it's one of those like, yeah, there's a reason to wander off. There might be like something to collect, but it very quickly also dead ends. So you're not like going on this long path and then just like, well, shit, I have to turn around anyway and like wandering back, which I appreciate. Like it's not dragging it out too much. But yeah, it's been good. I really only fucked up a little bit when it came to like the climbing. One of the first sections where they do the classic, hey, look, all those ledges are white. That means you can climb them. I misunderstood what it meant about going down, and I accidentally just jumped off of the ledge and fell into the water. And apparently, all the water's polluted, so it's toxic. So if you fall into the water, you immediately get teleported back to like the last piece of land you were on, and you lose a little health. So not the end of the world. And so far, the game's been pretty generous with health too. Like as I was trying to like mess around with the fighting and like try the different abilities out, I definitely got a little low. But every time you defeat an enemy, if you have a second to kind of like unravel them, I think is what they call it, you get a little health buff back. And then when you defeat all the enemies and you unravel like the thing that's creating like the dark area, so far at least I've gotten full health back. And there is a skill tree. As you're defeating enemies and finding other stuff around the map, you're getting like points, and those points you then just use to unlock new skills on the skill tree. I haven't really unlocked too much yet because it does kind of tick up pretty quickly. But every time you unlock a new ability, you unlock like a little section of the skill tree for those abilities too. So the initial one is all your physical stuff, like your attacking, your movement. And then you do start adding like the push and the pull and things to make them a little more useful in combat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Overall, I'm enjoying it. I'm glad I grabbed it when I saw it on Steam, and gonna probably keep playing it.
Yeah. It looks like a good game. It seems like a fun game. As you were explaining it, I was gonna respond with, yeah, it's kind of like an isekai, which I guess maybe kind of.
Actually, I had the same thought. I was thinking about it earlier and like talking about it, and I'm like, it's kind of like an isekai, but like so far I haven't really gone into like a new world. It's almost like two different worlds are like overlapping in a
Yeah,
weird
yeah.
way. Um,
And then as I thought that, my brain went to, is the Wizard of Oz an isekai? And
yeah,
that's all I could think about for a while.
yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's an isekai. The Wizard of Oz is an isekai. Dorothy dies. She gets knocked out, but she's probably dead for a second. Dorothy dies, goes to a different world, and then comes back.
I mean, to be fair, not
Isekai.
all isekais require the main character to die.
Look, yeah,
Um,
sometimes you jump down a well and you meet your demon boyfriend, but
yeah, I
your
mean,
half demon dog boyfriend.
you got Inuyasha. Technically, Sword Art Online is an isekai.
Yeah, technically.
And that's just a computer game.
Yeah.
There's also
Not
the show Rising of Shield Hero, where they also don't die. They basically get Power Rangered into another universe
mhm.
by reading books and playing video games. It's weird.
Not all isekais start with a bus.
Nope.
Or a truck.
Nope. Sometimes they just fall down a well.
Yeah.
But yeah, South of Midnight, definitely worth checking out. It's fun. It looks good, like visually. So yeah,
Nice.
Rich, you finished Daredevil.
Yeah, as I'm pretty sure this was the last episode.
I think it is
Sure
too.
This was the last episode last week. I didn't get a chance to watch it before last week's episode, so we're a week behind. And it's interesting. It was a good finale, but like I'm gonna try to skirt around spoilery things, but
I'm gonna try and watch it actually in the next week or so.
Yeah,
Because I really was just waiting for it to finish.
like without getting too far into the nitty gritty, one thing I'm going to say about it, and this doesn't really like change up anything. At the end of the series, vigilantes are outlawed in New York. Like, I'm not going to tell you how, and I'm not going to get into that or anything like that. But that is just one thing that it's like, it's like one major thing that I'm questioning right now, because it makes me question, where is the timeline for this? Does this take place before the Thunderbolts? And does the Thunderbolts take place in New York? Like, if vigilantes are outlawed in New York City, then that also means like the Thunderbolts would be outlawed in New York City.
Potentially. So, couple things. Without seeing it, that I just speculation. This is what they did in the comics. So there was a whole run where Fisk becomes mayor. He's actually mayor for quite a while. He is mayor after J. Jonah Jameson is mayor.
Yeah.
And he does outlaw superheroes. He basically outlaws masks. Not like physical masks, but like anyone that has like a secret identity. And vigilantism. With the idea that his pitch is it's going to cut down on crime too. Which, you know, we know how well that goes.
Criminals aren't going to care if the law says they can't wear a mask. They're still going to wear a mask.
Exactly. But so in the comics, he actually does create a team of Thunderbolts, specifically to act as like the superhero police.
Mm-hmm.
So like it's possible like you said, depending on timeline, it could play into that a little bit.
Yeah.
I doubt it, because at this point, like no one in the Thunderbolts is really New York based. You know, like Bucky's the closest one, but even he's like not really.
And in the current MCU, Bucky is a senator, so we don't even know we don't know anything about the Thunderbolts. We don't know like how the story is playing out and things.
We don't know when it happens either. Like this, it could be one of those movies where it actually happens pre Captain America.
Yeah, like we don't know we don't know the timeline for it, and that's what was like really boggling my mind, because I'm just like, the way they ended this series, in my opinion, they can't do any New York based heroes until they finalize what's going on with this, because of like, vigilantes are outlawed, and it raises a question of it's again like that the age old question when it comes to some of these crossovers, like, where is X hero that's New York based? Where is Spider-Man, for instance? Where's he at? Like, he could definitely be part of this now.
Well, yeah, and so like if you think about it, like in the MCU at this point, Spider-Man's the only other New York based hero.
Yeah, well, not gonna get into who else was in this. What else or what other characters might have been in this series. But maybe we get the Defenders. Maybe. Um,
I mean, that would be cool. And so going back to like what the comics did, after Fisk had his way for quite a while. But the way they ended up beating him was Luke Cage ran against him and became the new mayor. But the thing that they did with that was like he didn't become the mayor and he wasn't able to just overturn the law. But he was able to become the mayor and then kind of like build his own team to like kind of work around the anti-vigilante stuff.
mhm.
Because like really this whole thing isn't that different from like the Sokovia Accords in the MCU. It's just more like regionalized. Like
Yeah.
this is exactly what Civil War was about. Like Fisk just kind of took it to another level.
Yeah.
And like he doesn't really have any, like at least right now, as far as I know, like just based on like what MCU knowledge I have, he doesn't have anybody that can really stop any of the heroes that want to keep heroing. Because like other than Spider-Man, like
Yeah,
no,
like
Spider-Man now too. I forgot about No Way Home. Like they all have secret identities. Like most of them have, you know, some sort of powers. So like the cops aren't stopping them.
yeah,
And like most of them were like already like the cops weren't actively hunting them, but it was also one of those like, you know, the cops weren't super keen on the random civilian like stopping like muggings.
yeah.
So I am curious to see how it plays out though.
What they built this world out to be in this series, it seemed to be that like vigilantes were a little bit more widespread. The first couple of episodes deals with a vigilante, and like there's actually like a trial with this vigilante. And so like it is built that vigilantes are a thing because again we're living in the world where like Miss Marvel is a hero in Jersey City in this world.
Yeah.
There is an episode with Kamala's dad in it. It's really cool.
That's cool.
Episode.
I did not know that.
Yeah. I'm not going to talk about the episode or anything like that, but it's like it's a throwaway. It's like a one-off cameo. It's like a really cool thing to know. And he talks about how like she's not on the East Coast at the moment. So it does hint at like the West Coast Avengers or the Kid Avengers or whatever team that she's putting together with Kate Bishop. Because at the end of was that at the end of Hawkeye or might have been at the end of Miss Marvel? She's in Kate Bishop's apartment and she's like, "We need to put together a team." Basically, she does the Nick Fury.
Are you sure that wasn't the end of the Marvels? Because I don't remember that scene.
It might have been the end of the Marvels. One of the credit scenes at the end of the Marvels. You're right. Because the Marvels had, I guess it did have 2 credit scenes, so it might have been the end of the Marvels.
Yeah, because that is just a scene that I do not remember.
Yeah,
I'm double checking. Yeah. That was the end of the Marvels.
Yeah. So like it might be she might be on the West Coast talking to Cassie Lang, recruiting her for the Teen Titans of the Avengers. So like who knows where like she actually is, but like this law like doesn't directly affect Kamala Khan because she's Jersey City and not New York, but she's basically New York. But it does affect Doctor Strange, which you're right, he could just teleport the fuck out of there.
And he's not a vigilante either.
No, he's not a vigilante, but he could be considered a vigilante if he goes out and fighting crime and isn't a police officer.
But like I mean, yes, you're not wrong. But if like you look at the Doctor Strange stuff, he doesn't do that. Like all of his stuff have been like mystical things,
mystical, supernatural, and like even though he's based out of New York, he's not always in New York. Like
exactly,
the Multiverse of Madness was in New York for the first like 10 minutes, and that's it. So like you're right. Like there's really only one New York-based superhero, unless they bring in the Defenders.
And it would be super cool if they brought the other 3 back.
Yeah, and like one of the lines on the last episode was Daredevil saying, "I need to build an army." But like, so it's like people are speculating. Well, could this be them bringing the Defenders back? Like, could this be? And like, it could be. It could be. But with how it ended, like they need to wrap this up before they do any other series, especially a series that's based in New York, because it's just they need to wrap up this storyline of vigilantes are outlawed. Unless they're gonna just like feed into it for a long while. We already know that we can't have Kingpin in the movies because of rights issues. So
For now, at least. Like
for
that's
now,
and
at least,
to be fair, that was just what
Vincent
D'Onofrio
D'Onofrio
says.
he said like based on legality, he can't be in the movies right
But
now.
that's
Something like
again, that is what he is saying.
that. Yeah,
He is a better liar than most of the other MCU actors.
yeah. He's a
Like
better
like
actor than most of the other MCU actors too.
I
So
mean like you've seen the clip from like the talk show where Tom Holland's literally like, they told me the end scene of an Endgame was a wedding.
right,
Like
yeah,
he went there thinking it was a wedding and then
yeah,
wondered where Robert Downey Jr. was.
right, yeah, true. He's. I mean, he's. I don't think Tom Holland's a bad liar. I just think he forgets that he's supposed to not be not supposed to talk about this stuff. I don't think as much as like he's not a good liar. It's just as much as he just doesn't realize he's supposed to be keeping the secret, or he's just so excited about it that he wants to talk about
I think it's that, and I think like he just gets into it and then
it. Yeah.
like, oops.
Yeah, so like I mean that rate it because it's like it also what's going to happen with Spider-Man Brand New Day. That is the next Spider-Man movie, and that's due out in 2 years, I think. They recently announced it. Two or
Yeah, I
3
think
years.
it's 2026.
Yeah, so it's actually next year.
Yeah.
So like it raises the like are like is Vincent D'Onofrio playing coy and like is he gonna be one of the main villains? We've already seen Daredevil in Spider-Man. So are we gonna see like another crossover with that? Yeah, it was really good though. It was a really good series. Honestly, one of the better of the series, which is not a surprise because those Netflix series were amazing.
I
And
did really enjoy them.
yeah, I'm excited to like get more of the dark and grittiness of this world. With everything that happened, with all the outcomes of like, with just everything that happened and went on in this series, I'm just like, this was good, and maybe they can like bring everything else back and put everything else back together. Like maybe we'll get Luke Cage and Jessica Jones and Danny Rand and everyone else. Like maybe we'll get all this. Who knows though? Who knows?
I would actually I would like to see them like give all of them like another shot, even if it is like another like team up thing. Because like I think like they didn't always have the most well done like scripts and stories in those shows. But I think all four of those actors actually did a really solid job with like the main roles.
Yeah, like I think, and even like Iron Fist season 1 was rough, but Iron Fist season 2, in my opinion, got so much better than the first season that I was like, all right, this is good. Like this,
Yeah, no,
they
season 2
actually
was a
did
big
better.
step up.
It was a huge step up from season 1. And I wanted to see more because like he started like at the end of season 2, he had a gun and he was putting the Iron Fist ability into his bullets or some shit like that. And I was just like, this is wild. I want to know what this is, and I want to see more of this.
Yeah, and instead canceled.
Instead, canceled. But it was. I don't think it was canceled because it did bad. I think it was canceled because, well, Marvel was taking it back over because they wanted to do it on Disney Plus.
I mean, I'd have to double check, but I think that one actually got canceled before all the rest. Like, I think like they were unhappy with it and they did like cancel it.
Maybe, but like I've also never finished. I never watched Jessica Jones season 2. I don't remember if I finished Punisher season 2.
Oh, that's right. I forgot all about Punisher.
Yeah, there were 2 seasons of Punisher.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. There were 2. And like Jessica Jones season 2 was good. I actually don't. I know I watched Punisher season 2. I don't really remember it though.
Yeah.
But either way, like I am interested to check out Daredevil.
Yeah, it's
good.
It's worth a watch.
Yeah, I might try like next week to finish those last 2 episodes of Echo and then start Daredevil.
Mm-hmm.
I was mostly waiting for Daredevil to finish because yeah, if I was watching it week to week, I definitely would have just forgotten and then like had like a huge gap between episodes.
Yeah.
If I can just kind of like watch them all within a few days, it's like not as bad. I think it's 8 episodes?
9, I believe.
Okay. Yeah, so even then, like that's not that bad.
And the longest episode was the last episode. They all run between 30 and 45 minutes for the most part, with the exception of the last one being about an hour.
Yeah, which is pretty average for like most of the Disney Plus stuff.
Yeah, and it was all good. It was all good. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot. One of the better series of the Disney Plus series. I mean, I still need to watch Agatha, but then I'll be done with all the Disney Plus series. And then, or at least all the Marvel Disney Plus. Then it's Andor, which season 2 just came out. So like, I'll probably wait for Andor season 2 to finish before I do Andor. And so maybe I'll watch The Acolyte or something. But I don't really care.
Yeah, I mean, that's knowing The
Like, yeah.
Acolyte got canceled and sort of fell off after the first 2 episodes. Like,
Mhm.
I've been less interested in going back to that, but I probably will
Yeah.
at some point.
Yeah, I don't know, like, I love Star Wars, but I just don't really care about these series. It's like, I just saw that they're doing an Ahsoka season 2, and I'm just like, I'm trying to remember what happened in Ahsoka season 1 to be like, do they need a season 2?
It's a popular character, so yeah, they need to drive it into the ground.
But like, I'm pretty sure everything from season 1 was wrapped up. If not, because like, I mean, it all takes place between between episode 6 and episode 7. But like, I'm just like, because the reason I saw that we're getting another season is because they recast what's his name, and I think it's the Mountain now, who plays one of the main Sith villains.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I can't remember. I think it's the Mountain. But yeah,
from
they
Game of
recast.
Thrones, right?
Yeah, but they recast the that one villain because the actor passed away. I think cancer or something. I can't remember.
Oh, I know what you're talking about now. I forgot about that guy. Yeah, I don't know who took over for him, but I do remember the guy dying.
Yeah, I can't remember. I don't even, because like, he was a big not a big actor, but he's like a well-known actor at least.
Yeah, I cannot remember his name.
Ray
Stevenson?
Yes.
I just pulled that out of nowhere. I assume you looked it up.
Yeah. Apparently he was an RRR. But I don't know why no cause of death has been revealed.
Oh, that was a while ago too. So that probably won't be
problems. Yeah, 2023. But yeah, I don't remember what else he was in, but yeah. So yeah, he was recasted, and it is now, I believe it was the Mountain guy who played the Mountain.
Well, that's cool. Anything else you want to say about Daredevil though?
No. I think it's definitely worth a watch for everyone to see. It was a good series. First episode starts so rough, but it was so good. And yeah, it was a great take on the character and on the storylines. And I'm excited to see where they go from here.
Nice. Well, that'll probably do it for this week then.
Yeah, I don't think I have anything else.
Well, in that case, if you would like to find more of our content, you can head over to www.one-quest.com. You can also help us out by supporting us at patreon.com/onequest. If you can't support us there with your dollars, you can go to your favorite podcast platform, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Spotify, rate us, review us, subscribe to us. All of it helps. You can also find us on social media, facebook.com/onequestonline or at @1_quest on Instagram and Twitter. And we are OneQuest on Blue Sky. You can send us an email to social@one-quest.com. And our YouTube channel is youtube.com/OneQuestVideo. Now, Rich, what is your streaming looking like for the rest of the week?
Twitch.tv/B_Walnuts for video game streaming, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. We'll be doing Super Mario World, Monster Hunter, and Sea of Thieves is really what we've got mostly on the streams. And then once we get through all that, South of Midnight. Once we beat that, we'll see what's going on. Yeah, that's really it. I will say, to plug the YouTubes, my Subnautica Below Zero series is wrapping up. So if you guys want to send me a Blue Sky message or whatever, I'm on Blue Sky, or come to my Twitters or my Twitches and like talk to me about what you want to see next. Let me know what you want to see next on that Friday time slot, because I'm coming up with some ideas, just not sure what I want to do.
Oh, and you also, on both the OneQuest and your own YouTube channels, you released the review and the vlog for Hi-Fi.
Yeah, last week on Friday there was a review for Hi-Fi, and I did Saturday a review for Hi-Fi on the OneQuest channel, and I did a vlog about our playthrough on my personal channel. So I still need to link those, but I'll go do that one after this probably, if I remember.
Nice. Cool. Well, with that, we will be back next week with something else to talk about. Thanks for listening. Bye.
See yous.